There's just something about ATV and chasing adventure that charges everybody up. Keep just two things in mind. Go as often as you can, and go as safely as you can. Keep in mind that certain dangers and risks involved in the operation of an ATV can result in serious injury or death. The first thing you can do to be safe is really simple. Just read your manual. You need to become familiar with all the systems and controls on the machine. Keep it handy in case you need to refer to it when you're out riding. But before you start riding, read the safety labels on the ATV. They're also a good, practical source of safety information when you're out on the trail.
It takes concentration to control machines like these. A safety class is the best place to learn the proper riding techniques. Every rider should take an ATV safety class, such as the SVIA ATV Rider Course. For information about the SVIA ATV Rider Course, call ATV Enrollment Express at 800-887-2887 or visit www.atvsafety.org. Parents need to be sure young riders are mature enough to ride an ATV. Nobody at any age should ride an ATV if they're not responsible enough to ride it properly. ATVs marked Y6 are intended for use only by riders age 6 and older. ATVs marked Y12 are intended for use only by riders age 12 and older. Riders 16 and older can ride ATVs, as long as mom and dad are confident that all riders have the skills and maturity to handle the machines that they're on. ATVs come in a variety of sizes and power ranges. Your dealer can help you choose a model that's right for you. Every rider must know his or her riding skill limitations and must practice driving techniques beginning with the easier maneuvers first. Repeat the maneuvers learned in the training course until you can perform all of them safely every time. And never do wheelies, jumps, or stunts. Be alert and be aware of possible hidden dangers when riding over unfamiliar terrain. Never ride at speeds that are too fast for the terrain, visibility, or your experience. There are a few basic rules everybody has to follow to be safe on an ATV. First, one machine means one rider. Double riding may impair the ability of the operator to shift weight going uphill, downhill, and around corners. Respect the environment you ride in. Find out where the designated ATV trails are. If you're not sure, contact your dealer, the local ATV club, or call your city or county government offices. Above all, stay on the trail. Remember, rider, you represent the sport to non-riders too. Staying on the trail is the best way to keep the trails open. The first thing you need to do is to protect your most important piece of riding equipment, your head. Helmets come in lots of styles. Whatever style you choose, make sure it's DOT approved and make sure you wear it every time you get on your machine. You also need to wear goggles when you ride to protect your eyes against dust, dirt, bugs, or whatever. You also need to wear long-sleeve shirts, gloves, long pants, and over-the-ankle boots to protect you against brush along the trail, not to mention the weather. Before each ride, perform the pre-ride inspection described in the owner's manual. Try to avoid steep inclines. If you're not careful, you can overturn when you're going up or down hills. Remember that the adult ATVs are not intended to be ridden on inclines greater than 25 degrees, and the youth models are not intended to be ridden on inclines greater than 15 degrees. When climbing hills, you should drive straight uphill. Slide your body forward on the seat
and ride at a steady speed. Be prepared to dismount quickly if necessary. If you stall while riding uphill, turn around and come back down using the K-turn maneuver described in your owner's manual. When going downhill, you should ride straight downhill. Move your body to the back of the seat, slow down, and apply your brakes slightly. Never coast downhill with the transmission in neutral. ATVs, except for the Category S models and youth models, employ a single lever brake system. The front and rear brakes are applied by squeezing the brake lever toward the handlebar. Youth models have separate brake levers for the front and rear brakes. The front brakes are applied by squeezing the right-hand brake lever, and the rear brakes are applied by squeezing the left-hand brake lever. The Category S Predator uses the right brake lever to operate the front brakes and a foot pedal to operate the rear brakes. Side-hilling your ATV is one of the most dangerous types of riding and should be avoided if possible. If you cannot avoid riding on the side of a hill, slow down. Lean into the hill, transferring your body weight towards the hill while keeping your feet on the footrests. ATVs, with the exception of the Predator and Youth models, which do not have reverse, are equipped with reverse speed limiters to limit the vehicle's speed in reverse. The engine will sound like it's missing when the limiter is operating, and this is normal. Be aware that the all-wheel drive will not engage when the limiter is operating. In the rare situation where you need more power or all-wheel drive in reverse, you can press the override button located on the left handlebar. You should push the override button only after you fully release the throttle. This will allow full engine power and all-wheel drive in reverse. Be particularly careful when pushing the override button when backing up a hill, since the vehicle can overturn if too much throttle is applied. Thanks for listening. Before we go, let's quickly go over the ways to ride safely on the way out. Choose the right ATV for you and your age, and be sure it's one you can control. Be ready to ride. Read your owner's manual and safety labels, and take an ATV safety course before you ride. Get the right equipment, and that means a helmet, goggles, long-sleeve shirt, gloves, long pants, and over-the-ankle boots. Ride responsibly. Find the designated ATV trails and stay on them. ATVs can be hazardous to operate. Severe injury or death can result if you don't follow instructions. Read the owner's manual and labels. Never operate ATVs without receiving proper instructions. Beginners should complete the training course. Never carry a passenger. Never operate on public roads. Never operate ATVs after consuming alcohol or drugs. Never operate at excessive speeds for terrain, visibility, or experience. Never do wheelies, jumps, or stunts. Always avoid paved surfaces, and always wear a helmet. Remember, riding an ATV can be a great escape for the whole family for years to come, if you ride safely on the way out. This video is to be used in conjunction with the owner's manual. To the parents of all young ATV riders, this video is an introduction to youth model ATVs. It was produced with children in mind.
It contains important information about the ATVs and certain safety precautions. You and your children should sit down together and watch this video often. Make sure that they have a full understanding of the importance of safe and responsible ATV riding. All ATVs meet or exceed the safety guidelines established by the American National Standards Institute. However, any ATV can be dangerous if you do not follow these safety rules. But if you ride carefully and responsibly, they're a lot of fun. Youth ATVs are designed and intended for use by children in 2 age groups. The 50cc model is for children not less than 6 years of age. The 90cc model is for children not less than 12 years old. This means, for example, those children under the age of 12 should not ride on a model designed for 12 years old and up. And no child under the age of 16 should ride an ATV designed and sold for an adult. Parents, you have the responsibility to teach your children the proper and safe way to ride any ATV. Now, this should be done by reading the owner's manual with your children before they first use the ATV and periodically afterwards. Do not allow other children to ride your youth model ATV unless they have read the manual, seen this video, and taken the SVIA ATV rider course.
For information about the SVIA ATV rider course, call ATV Enrollment Express at 800-887-2887 or visit www.atvsafety.org. You need to review with your children the warnings, safety video, and owner's manual and be sure that they understand how to operate the ATV. Watch this video with your children periodically too. But remember, this video is not intended to take the place of reading the owner's manual and taking the SVIA ATV rider course.
Keeping your child's safety foremost in mind, you must set the limits and guidelines for your children and be sure that they follow them when operating any ATV. Never allow children to operate any ATV without adult supervision. A child's decision-making ability has not been fully developed. Children may not make the right decision when required to do so. Therefore, it is your responsibility to be sure that children who operate your youth model ATV are closely supervised. Doing all of this will result in a fun and safe experience for you and your child. In order to help you be sure that the riding experience you and your child have is a safe one, you'll need to do the following. First, you need to make sure that your child can reach all of the controls. Now, this is done by checking the following items. Make certain that your child has enough seat to inseam clearance so the child can shift his or her weight depending on the terrain that you're riding on. The minimum clearance should be 3 inches. While your child is sitting on the ATV, the upper leg position should be as close to horizontal as possible to avoid interference with steering the machine. Foot position should be flat on the running boards to prevent the child from losing balance during maneuvers. Having his or her feet firmly planted on the running boards will allow the child to have better control of the machine. The child should be able to reach the handlebar grips comfortably to assure proper steering control during turns. This also assures that your child can reach the throttle and brake during turns. Check the handbrake reach of your child. He or she should be able to cover the span of the grip to the brake lever with the first knuckle of the fingers. He should also be able to reach the emergency shutoff switch while his hand is on the handlebar grip. Also, make certain that your child is wearing all of the appropriate protective gear and clothing. Now, first, this would include a helmet, which has been provided for you with the ATV. It's also important to wear goggles, shoulder pads, elbow pads, long sleeves, gloves, boots that cover the ankles, and long pants. Whenever this ATV is to be transported, lock the parking brake, shut the fuel valve off, secure the gas cap, and always tie the ATV to the transporting unit securely using suitable straps. Make sure you connect the straps to the frame of the ATV, front and rear. Remember, always read, understand, and heed the warnings and instructions provided in the owner's manual and on the labels placed on the ATV.
Also, in order for your child to practice what they learn in this video and the owner's manual, they should take the SVIA ATV rider course.
Well, kids, it's your turn to ride your very own youth model ATV. Today, we're going to tell you some very important things that you need to know before you go out riding. Before you go riding, you and an adult need to sit down together and read and understand the owner's manual. Now, this book comes with the ATV, and it should stay with the ATV at all times. It has a lot of information that you need to know, and it's written for kids like you. Make sure you ask questions if there's something you don't understand. The most important thing to think about is safety. Always get permission from your parents before riding, and never ride without an adult watching or riding along, just in case you run out of gas, you get stuck, or need other help. And do not let anyone else ride the ATV unless your parents say it's okay. Make sure that you understand all of the warning labels on the ATV and be sure that you follow them. Now we'll go over the controls. This is the throttle. This makes the ATV move forward. The farther you push the throttle, the faster you go. Now, before you start the engine, be sure the throttle moves easily and returns to the closed position. There are two brake handles. The right handle controls the front brake, and the left handle operates the rear brake. You pull the handles towards the grip to stop. When you're riding, apply both brakes at the same time. Always take your thumb off the throttle when you pull the brake handles. Before you start the engine, be sure the brake handles move easily and return to their normal position. There are three ways to stop the engine. This is the engine stop switch. The engine will stop running as soon as the engine stop switch is pushed to the off position. Note that the off position is either way from the center of the switch. The engine stop switch must be pushed to the on position for the engine to run. When using the engine stop switch to stop the engine, the ATV may keep rolling until you pull the brake handles. This is called a tether strap. It attaches snugly around your wrist or clips to your belt or other clothing and then connects to the tether switch. If you fall off your youth model ATV, the strap will be pulled off the switch and the engine will stop. It's very important that you wear this strap and connect it to the tether switch whenever you're riding. Be careful not to get the cord tangled on any part of the ATV or on any part of your body. Here is the key switch. It must be turned on to start the ATV. After you're finished riding for the day, be sure to turn the key off, take the key out, and give it to an adult to put in a safe place. When you want to start this ATV, you must pull the left-hand brake handle towards the grip firmly and hold, or apply the parking brake while you push the starter switch located on the left-hand control. The engine will not start unless the left-hand brake handle is pulled firmly before pushing the starter switch. Filling the gas tank can be dangerous. Always have an adult check and fill the gas tank. One tank of gas will last approximately 3 to 4 hours. Remember, gasoline can catch fire and explode, and the fumes can be dangerous if you breathe them. Only adults should fill the gas tank. Before you go out for a ride, wear the right clothes. Make sure to always wear a helmet and use goggles for eye protection. Wear good boots that fit properly and cover your ankles. Make sure your gloves are the right size and fit snugly. Never ever wear clothing that is loose. It could be caught in the drivetrain or the wheels of the ATV and hurt you. Before you ride, you need to make sure your ATV is ready to ride. Have an adult help you with these important pre-ride checks. Check the brakes by squeezing the handles to make sure they move freely and there is brake tension. Make sure the throttle pushes forward and returns freely without sticking. If you've used the storage area under the seat, be sure the seat is locked in place. Be sure the engine stop switch moves freely and that the tether switch is properly installed. Have an adult check the wheels and tires, steering, drive chain, and fasteners, as described in the owner's manual. Let's go over the 3 different ways to stop your engine one more time. They are: push the engine stop switch, pull the tether strap off the tether switch, or turn off the key. Before starting the engine, you should sit on the ATV in the position to drive it and attach the tether strap to your wrist or clothing and then to the tether switch. Now, squeeze the rear brake handle firmly or apply the parking brake and push the starter switch until the ATV starts. You might need an adult to help you with this. It could take a couple of tries. Make sure when you start to operate the ATV, your friends stay away from the machine and never let anyone stand in front of the ATV. Before starting out, look all around you to make sure that there's no one in the way. Gently push on the throttle until the ATV begins to move, but always remember where the brake handles are in case you have to stop quickly. When riding, always keep both hands on the handlebars and both feet on the running boards. Keep alert and know what's going on around you at all times. When following another ATV, stay back at a safe distance. An adult will help you determine what this safe distance is. Never ride on streets, roads, driveways, or other hard surfaces. Driving on such surfaces can make you lose control of your ATV. Remember that your ATV makes noise, so it will be hard for you to hear cars or trucks. And don't show off or perform jumps or stunts. Try to stay on level ground. Riding on hills can be dangerous. When there is a hill, make sure to go straight up or straight down the hill. Don't try to go across the hill from the side. We'll talk more about hills later. When there is a corner, go very slowly. If you go too fast around a corner, you could lose control and get hurt or die. Do not ride at night because the youth model ATV does not have headlights. Plan your ride so that you can get home before dark. Riding at night increases your chances of an accident and injury because you cannot see or be seen as well as during daylight hours. Never ride your youth ATV with a passenger. A passenger will make the ATV harder to drive and increases your risk of losing control. You may lose control and hurt yourself and your passenger.
Do not use for nighttime operation.
Moving your body weight while riding is important for you to maintain good control of your ATV during your ride. When turning, lean your body to the inside of the turn and support your weight on the outside footrest. When going uphill, move your body forward to shift your weight to the front of the seat. This will reduce the possibility of tipping over backwards. When going downhill, move your body to the back of the seat to transfer your weight to the back of the vehicle. This will reduce the possibility of tipping over forward. Pay close attention to the rider's body position on the ATV in all of the following demonstrations. Your ATV could flip over, and you could get seriously hurt or die if you do not shift your weight correctly. Correct starting procedures are as follows. Sit on the seat with both feet on the footrest. Check the parking brake. It must be on. Turn on the key switch. Turn on the auxiliary engine stop switch. Press the starter switch and start the engine. Then shut down the engine, checking the auxiliary stop switch. Restart the engine and release the parking brake. Always check your surroundings, identify any potential hazards, and determine your path of travel before starting out. Drive a few feet and then pull the brake handles to ensure proper operation of the brake system. With an experienced adult rider helping you, select an open level area to practice. Set up a practice course using markers or pylons. Do not overdrive your ability. Practice will increase your comfort and safety. To turn, Steer in the direction of the turn, leaning your body to the inside of the turn while supporting your weight on the outer footrest. When climbing hills, you should drive straight uphill and move your weight forward to reduce the possibility of rear tip over, and drive at a steady speed. Always avoid steep hills. Never operate this ATV on hills steeper than 15 degrees. This is what a 15-degree angle looks like. Whenever going downhill, you should drive straight downhill. Move your weight to the rear of the seat to reduce the possibility of forward tip over. Slow down and apply both brakes lightly. Side-hilling your ATV is one of the most dangerous types of riding and should be avoided if possible. If you cannot avoid riding on the side of a hill, slow down. Lean into the hill, transferring your body weight towards the hill while keeping your feet on the footrests. If you are climbing a hill and have to turn around on the hill, you can use the K-turn. First, ride uphill past the point where you want to change direction. Then, stop and lock the parking brake while keeping your body weight uphill. Shut off the engine. Get off on the left or uphill side of the ATV. Staying uphill of the ATV, turn the handlebars all the way to the left. While holding the left brake, release the parking brake lock and slowly allow the ATV to roll around to your right until it is pointing across the hill. Lock the parking brake and get back on the ATV from the uphill side, keeping your body weight uphill. Restart the engine and ride slowly down the hill, controlling the speed with both brakes until the ATV is on level ground. Never try to cross a fast-flowing stream, as the large tires may float, causing loss of control. Now, your ATV can operate through water up to a depth reaching the footrest. Before crossing streams, always find out how deep the water is. Choose a crossing where both banks have shallow inclines. Drive slowly, avoiding rocks and obstacles if possible. After crossing, dry the brakes by applying light pressure to the brake handles while the ATV is moving until the brakes work normally. Key points to remember. The most important thing is safety. Read and understand the owner's manual and warning labels. Learn the proper operation of the controls. Know the 3 ways to stop the engine: engine stop switch, tether strap, and key switch. Always wear a helmet and other proper protective clothing. Make sure all the controls operate properly before starting the engine. Never ride without an adult watching or supervising. When riding, always keep both hands on the handlebar and both feet on the running boards. Never carry a passenger. And never ride on public roads. If you do not understand any portion of this video or how to safely operate the ATV, ask an adult for help. Remember to drive responsibly. Show respect to others and protect the environment. Any ATV can be dangerous if you do not follow the safety rules. But if you ride carefully and responsibly, they are a lot of fun.